Hopefully this works better. The lighting today, it's raining out, so it's kind of not the best day to do it. But here is the table. Trying to get some light here. You can see, moving this light, I put just 2 coats of spar varnish on this. After yesterday, I ran, actually I may not need that. I ran a little bit of epoxy to get in this crack to where it was I didn't see that stain. Right here where the wood's joined, a little bit of epoxy, and then level off some of these things. Like there's a few little nail holes here, like right there. And let that dry, and I did the spar varnish on this. And I did the spar varnish in a leveling way that mimics what finish was on there. I really didn't touch anything. I didn't affect the patina. I kept it just the way it was. You can see when you use a spar varnish very lightly, after cleaning it, you're just retouching the varnish that's on it, but it's a very water-based varnish, but it's also water repellent, so you can put it on, and after it dries, take a well, first of all, you're going to see if there's any spot that you've missed. It's going to show drier than what it would normally. Take a light like this and just buff it with a piece of tack cloth or a piece of paper towel, something that's not going to leave residue, and touch it up, and then go over it again to get that polished look like I have here. And did this as well as the underside here. You can see yesterday, this is where I touched up on the legs where they're connected. It's a lot more stable, and I did it here just a little bit ago right here. Now when I put the epoxy into it, I didn't just put it on that crack right there. I also put it on the edge and wiggle it a little bit so it starts to seep down in there on an antique like that. So anything that's rotted or dry rotted, it'll fill in that area that's missing. Like I said, this is fall card. It's not anything fancy. If it was something fancy, what I would do is set a piece of material so I didn't actually touch. Well, I filled it in, but going from there with it, you can see there we go. You can see where it's just laying on that groove in it. It's not dripping down. It's not going to like clog it up and make it look shitty. I just want it to look nice and even. And with it laying on top of that spar varnish, one nice aspect of it is that it's really easy to clean up. So you take an antique like this, wobbly old table, and now it's very sturdy. It's not going anywhere. I'm just repurposing what's here. I'm taking something that was done 100 years ago. I don't care how good you are. I do woodworking myself. I'm sure if I looked at some of my stuff 100 years from now, there would be nicks on it. There would be parts where the varnish didn't last and hold up as well as the other areas that it did. And I'm just touching it up. I'm just taking what's there and repurposing it the way that it would have been, without hurting any patina, without adding to it. You know, one of the main things you want to look for is where these boards are connected. Is there any splitting? Is there any gaps underneath here? Is there anything that's stopping it from being a solid structure that makes it wobble? And then you want to look at where it's connected. Look at how it's connected evenly. Are any of these come loose over time? Are they still in place down to an area like this? Check the connectors, you know, keep it even. See, did any moisture affect the wood? Did it warp it in any way? You know, there's all kinds of things you have to take into effect, and some things you cannot fix. Like this right here, for instance, you can see that there's a little bit of a gap right here. That I'm not going to worry about. So there you go.